What is up, everybody? It's Verda here, and my goodness, they just can't stop throwing stuff at me. They just can't. They literally are feeding me like they've never fed me before. I need to be honest with you. Yes, Edania is delayed. Good that it is delayed. That is perfect. Do you know why? Because they're treating it seriously. And that is better. Yes, I want it if I could play it right now, immediately. But let's be honest about this. It's better for it to land as it's supposed to, rather for it to pretty much not deliver. I am perfectly okay with this, and I hope you guys are as well. But today we got a Global Labs pretty much announcing this with quite a little bit of teasers inside, and Jesus Christ, what did we get over here? Now, at first, people are kind of like, yeah, this is cool. Zarka, Valkyries, nothing really that big. What are you talking about? Perlibis just dropped such a bomb on us to the point where I can't even comprehend it. Let me just show you what's going on. First, I would like to thank Perlibis for this beautiful thing. Perlibis haven't done fan service the way they have for Edania ever. In the history of the game, this has never happened. Never have we had such a story-driven, oriented game where they are hyping in such a way to the point where the community can't stop talking about them. Literally everyone is around buzzing right now. Who are these guys? Perlibis are setting them up. They're throwing information left and right, and it's not just little tad bits. No, they're world building this. And over here we have Enslar with her wings unfurled, and they're like wooden wings. That is a theory in a video on its own. However, I just wanted to thank Perlibis for this, because this is a wallpaper, and you guys can get it from the Global Labs. You can download it. It's a gift for the delay. Of course, not a big one, but it's a crazy good gift for me. I say we jump straight into this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you would like to call a biblical, in a sense, depiction of the world of BDO. And I know it sounds weird at first, but let me just explain to you things. A lot of the BDO stories and lore have in fact happened to an extent to what the people tell as a tale. That is true. However, the idea behind those here is to give you a representation of what happened in a sense of like some sort of a canonical, literal art piece in front of you. This is very important. Something here, however, in this entire artwork is that we have, obviously, a Valkyrie, another Valkyrie over here onto the right, and someone in the middle, which we will talk in a moment. What we're seeing here in front of us is none other than Enslar in her prime form, when she was young and when she killed Zarka. So this is core Valkyrie mythos. If you're a Valkyrie player, this is your mythology here. What you observe in front is the final moments of Enslar, as she didn't just simply kill Zarka, she, on theory, saved the world that day. Because if the sacrifice went through, this little guy here would have been a big trouble, probably too big to handle. Enslar was sent by the Fraternity of Light and the Church of Elion, manipulated by the Fraternity of Light to sacrifice herself and her Valkyries, which we see all over the place. And she was sent there to die. And she said, no, I am not a servant of the church. I am a servant of Elion. I would like to give a shout out to a viewer of mine who actually figured it out. Someone who posted a comment saying pretty much that Elion is real, but the church is false. Congratulations for actually figuring it out, because that is probably true. That Elion is real, but the church capitalizes upon it. What we have here is Enslar in her pretty much own uniform at the time. The Enslar set, we all know, the thirst trap, you get it. And over here we have a character, another Valkyrie. Now, probably people will be a little bit confused onto this one. But this is Enslar, and this is Venslar. Yeah, I know, hold on a minute. First, this is not really possible, right? But Perlibis are known to rewrite their lore to make a better story, which I'm perfectly fine with. I had to double check with the biggest minds in the lore of Black Desert to make sure that I remember correctly, because this thing happens 50 years ago, which makes Enslar at the very least 70, approaching 80 years of age. And Venslar herself in this image should have been a teenager or something like this, which means that right now, currently, she is about 60-ish years of age, plus minus, give a little. So these two characters are right now squashed into one era pretty much, and probably this is a more recent event. This is great fan service through and through, and this is pretty much Enslar's final moment. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Zark. Alright, so remember that one little video that I had that recently blew up in the video scene where I spoke about in profound detail about Savior. And I spoke how Savior definitely has ties to Calpheon. And I speak about how she could be a continuation of many stories. Nova could be, she could be a new invention of the church for the sakes of the fall of the Valkyries. And Pearl Abyss integrated something so unbelievable to the point where I just couldn't even, I was like, hold on a minute. This is a very big sword on a character that has a very particular tiara, or rather regalia, or whatever you would like to call it. Tiara was on the head. This is regalia, I guess. Right, I'll stop being fancy. It's just the hooded cloak thing. And not just that, but there are others who wear similar clothes. And we're kind of seeing this guy over here engulfed by Zarka's corruption, being twisted and basically crushed as if coming from the ground itself. And all those kind of looking like knights or shadow knights or fraternity of light cultists, whatever you would like to call it. We don't know. And we see this individual here standing with Enslar and standing with Venslar. And it is not a random individual. This is not just simply, oh, look at his savior. It is Savior's predecessor, whatever this here is. Let's look into the sword quickly, because the sword is basically where that thing comes through. Now, the sword itself, obviously big sword, looks similar. It has kind of like a mirroring to it. You get the entire idea. It is definitely leaking towards Savior. But the most important bit of this, something that a person in my DMs actually told me, and I forgot that was even a thing. I would like to just shout out Jessy for my DMs. Jessy showed me something so important, because I want you to closely look into this over here. This little bit of clothing. And now we go into the Edania trailer. And we go over here to this particular cloaked figure who is going behind. And I want you to closely observe something. Pearl Abyss know how to hide things. She is clutching a sword which they purposely hid from the cinematic in order for us to not know what is going on. Because you can see the grasp on that, but this is a continuation, because this person here is precisely, by this ornament here, precisely this individual. Or in other words, Enslar was not alone. She had help during that day. And the big important thing here is that whatever Savior is now directly tied to the Valkyries, integrated in the best possible way with Calpheon. And the most important thing, it is probably an order. It is not something in retaliation of the church. She is everywhere. Overall, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Just literally, this is peak mythos. It is amazing. It is astonishing. I love it. Pearl Abyss, thank you for this. This is foreshadowing in such great way. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Verdict loves you as always. It is not just a name. If you need me, you can find me. I can't wait for Edania. I am losing my mind, man. They've been feeding us, dude.